Hello.
There, yeah.
Say hello.
Let me get one
Everyone
of
see?
this crew over
It's all
here.
good. Say hi to Get Layla. Layla. What's up, Layla? There's Kaylee. This is her class. There's Mike. There's Tammy.
There's that place that's up 126.
Lamb Fawcett.
It's
Yeah.
like that.
Advisor, Salt Lake Community College, and it's a pleasure to have you here. We will begin by having our Pledge of Allegiance led by Cadet Jason Brown.
Please join with us in repeating the Pledge of Allegiance. Would the audience please be seated? Session 067, order, arms. Session 067, please be seated.
I'd like to take just a minute and introduce the people who are sitting up front with us. We very much appreciate they being with us. Karen Gunn is seated right here, who is the Dean of, the Associate Provost, and then the Dean of the School of Professional and Economic Development and Applied Technology. She's a great support to our program, and we appreciate her attendance. Captain Chris Bertram, Unified Police Department, is our keynote speaker. We'll be introducing him a little more formally in a minute. Major Scott Stevenson, the Director of Utah Peace Officer Standards and Training. Robbie Robertson, our primary firearms instructor. Officer Brent Jeffs from West Jordan Police Department is one of our primary scenario instructors. Rich and Rochelle Montanez help us with our physical training program. Do a wonderful job there. Also help me out when I'm not around. Rich retired from Peace Officer Standards and Training and now works as an officer for Salt Lake. Lloyd Prescott, retired captain from Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office, is our primary physical training instructor. Sid Gross, who's seated next to him, former director of Peace Officer Standards and Training, former sheriff of Cache County, and now is the director of law enforcement for the Department of Natural Resources for the state of Utah. Josh Blair and Chris Bound, down at the end, are both attorneys for the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office, and do most of our legal instruction and also help us with our report writing. Grateful to have them there. I saw Corporal Aaron Rosen coming. Where is he? Aaron, I know you're around. Anyway, Aaron Rosen, Corporal from Saratoga Springs Department, is representing the Utah Peace Officers Association. We'll have him come forward as well. We're delighted tonight to have as our keynote speaker, Captain Chris Bertram from Salt Lake County Unified Police Department. Captain Chris Bertram started his career in law enforcement in 1990 as a reserve deputy for the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office while he was attending college. He was hired as a full-time deputy in 1991. He has since promoted through the ranks, being a sergeant in 1998, a lieutenant in 2002, and a captain in 2008. He is currently assigned as the Chief of Police Services for the city of Holiday with the Unified Police Department of Greater Salt Lake under the Office of the Sheriff. Captain Bertram has been with the Unified Police Sheriff's Office for 20 years. Captain Bertram has worked a variety of assignments, including patrol duty in the East Patrol Division, Juvenile Detective Division, Court Services Division, and Detective Division Warrants Unit. He also worked secondary assignments in a covert joint agency operation investigating juvenile drug and alcohol violations, as well as with the Salt Lake County Housing Authority. As a detective sergeant, he was assigned to Juvenile Detectives Division and Special Investigations Division, as well as Patrol Sergeant in the West Patrol Division. As a lieutenant, he was assigned as an executive officer in both the East and West Patrol Divisions and the Investigations Division over Homeland Security, Intelligence, and Narcotics. He also held the position as acting commander of the Border Patrol Division, as well as Night Watch commander. Captain Bertram has a bachelor's degree in psychology, Master of Business Administration, and a Master of Arts from the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California, in Homeland Security. In 2008, he completed his thesis at the Naval Postgraduate School titled Factors That Affect Interagency Collaborations, Lessons Learned Following the 2002 Winter Olympics. In 2011, he published Family versus Duty, Personnel and Family Preparedness for Law Enforcement Organizational Resilience in the National Sheriff's Magazine. He's also a graduate of the FBI National Academy, the FBI Executive Command College, and Utah Post Command College. In 1997, Captain Bertram was named the State of Utah's Deputy Sheriff of the Year by the Utah Sheriff's Association. Captain Bertram's family has dedicated their careers to service and is a fourth-generation law enforcement officer. And I'd also like to state that he is on our adjunct faculty in our criminal justice program and does a wonderful job with that program. It's great to be able to introduce Captain Chris Bertram.
Good evening. I guess I should have kept that a little shorter. I didn't realize we were going to read the whole bio. Good evening. It's an honor to be here. I am Captain Chris Bertram with the Unified Police Department. And let me begin by saying congratulations to these young men and women. For those family members who supported you throughout your part of this journey, I would also like to say thank you. They may be leaving the academy, but they are entering into a career, and I can tell you, emotional support for this career is required part of the job. More than 20 years ago, I stood in the same spot that you now rightfully belongs to you. Having earned your certificate, you are without a doubt a proud graduate of the Police Academy. A bright future in law enforcement is out there for you. As each of you have done, I also self-sponsored myself through the Police Academy. Financially, it was not easy, but physically, the running was much more difficult. When graduation day arrived, I celebrated. Then I got right to work finding a job as a police officer. In 1991, it seemed that everybody also wanted to. We talked to a young officer about what it is to be a cop. Joe Friday may have been a fictional character, but I can tell you that his words ring true even today. And so it begins. It's awkward having a police officer around the house. Friends drop in, a man with a badge answers the door. The temperature drops 20 degrees. Throw a party, the badge gets in the way. All of a sudden there isn't a straight guy in the crowd. Everybody's a comedian. Don't drink too much, someone says, or the guy with the badge will run you in. Or how's it going, Dick Tracy? How many jaywalkers did you arrest today? And there's always the one who wants to know, how many donuts did you eat? You rub elbows with the elite. Pimps, addicts, thieves, bums, winos, girls who can't keep an address, and men who don't care. Liars, cheats, con men, the class of Skid Row, and the heartbreak. Underfed kids, beaten kids, lost kids, homeless kids, broken arm kids, sick kids, dying kids, and dead kids. If you like to fly by the seat of your pants, this is where you belong. For every crime that's committed, you've got a million suspects to choose from. Most of the time, you'll have few facts and a lot of hunches. You'll run down leads that dead end on you. You'll work all-night stakeouts for a week. You'll do late work until you're sure that you talked to just about everybody. People who saw it but really didn't. People who insist they did but really didn't. People who don't remember. People that want to forget. Those that tell the truth. And those that lie. And paperwork, wow. You'll fill out a report when you're right. You'll fill out a report when you're wrong. You'll fill out one listing your leads. You'll fill out one when you don't have any leads. You'll make out reports on reports that you've already made out. You'll write enough words in a lifetime to stock a library. You'll learn to live with doubt, anxiety, frustration, court decisions that tend to hinder rather than help. You'll learn to live with the district attorney testifying in court, defense attorneys, prosecuting attorneys, judges, juries, and witnesses. And sometimes you won't be happy with the outcome. Being a police officer is an endless, glamorous, thankless job that must be done. And I'm damn glad to be one of them. Sergeant Friday, you couldn't have said it better. Finally, let me say this. I am grateful to each of you for choosing to join me in a career that I have absolutely loved for 20 years. And I am honored to welcome you to the law enforcement family. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. We now go to a very important part of our ceremony. That is the administration of the Code of Ethics. The Code of Ethics is a very valuable, prized document that law enforcement in Utah and throughout the country lives by. Last May, if you remember, you had a class taught by Chief Randy Johnson, who's here with us tonight. And it's been referenced and referenced and referenced many times since then, and it will be throughout your career. We're delighted tonight to have Major Scott Stevenson, Director of Utah Peace Officer Standards and Training, to administer this swearing-in ceremony and to also say a few words about the Code of Ethics and how important it is. Major Stevenson is an example for you on how you should be persistent going after this career. He started with the Utah Department of Corrections, then went to Sandy Police Department, came to the Utah Highway Patrol. I first met him when he was working in the police corps, the Utah Peace Officer Standards and Training. Became Deputy Director of Peace Officer Standards and Training, and now for the last 2 or 3 years has been Director. In that position, he is literally the keeper of the gate for ethics and standards for law enforcement. The decisions that are made by he and the Post Council define behavior, what is accepted and what is not accepted for peace officers who stand in Utah. It's a pleasure to be able to have Major Stevenson be here with us to administer the Code of Ethics.
No applause needed. I don't take myself that seriously. Unlike Chris, he competed against 900 people. I'm the only one who showed up. Here I am. If there were 900 people to compete against, I would not be here. You know, oftentimes, as I reflect upon my career, my personal life, I try to capture the epiphany moments where you should have a life-changing course. And I often reflect upon those because I have to draw on those, as you should, as you get into the profession and interact with different people, continue to interact with your spouse and friends. There's a story that I'm just going to share with you about integrity. Once upon a time, I was at home, trusted with my 2 kids, of my wife and shopping. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to preface the story. Monday Night Football has got me in more trouble than anything else in my life. She's away shopping. I was tasked with babysitting. I know it's not babysitting because I'm her father. I was enjoying the company of my children. Colby, who was at the time 4 years old. His young brother Eli was 3, 2.5. As I was watching the game Monday night, house got a little quiet. For those of you that have children, quiet in a household is not a good thing. If you're empty nesters, that's a good thing. But not for me at this moment. I looked at the clock to make sure I had ample time to clean up any mess so that my wife didn't have to come home to a messy house. But I had enough time. I got enthralled in the game, and all of a sudden I felt this tugging on my shirt. And I looked down at my 2.5-year-old son, Eli, and he is white. His arms, his hair spiked up, white. His face is white, legs are white. All he has on is underwear and this substance that is white. Well, I look at the clock, and all of a sudden I'm propelled into a state of panic. My wife is due home at any minute. So I grab the child, I run down the hallway, and first thing I yell is, "Colby, what have you done?" He failed the integrity test. I don't know. So I thought, okay, whatever has happened, I got to clean this child up so that I do not take the heat for this. We can easily go on about our lives without her knowing it. So I turn on the faucet and I start rubbing his arm. Well, the water is just repelling. And it's just moving around. And I'm starting to panic a little bit because it's not coming off. And all this time, he's making this monster sound. He thinks it's funny. I'm not laughing, I'm actually sweating. So I'm scrubbing and nothing is happening. I said, I got to find out what this substance is. You would think, having 2 kids, 3 kids at that time, that I would be able to identify this substance. I was around a blanket. So I went down the hall and I found 3 empty tubes of Desitin. Now, for those of you that don't know the qualities of Desitin, it's a thick, creamy substance that apparently repels water and other stuff. So I thought, okay, this is not going to happen. She's due home any minute. And panic starts to set in, right? Well, you got to punt. You got to try to make do. And I thought, when my kids get in trouble, all they do is start crying. And my wife takes pity. So I thought, you know what? If I can drum up some tears, I may be able to survive this encounter. So I thought, okay, how am I going to, I'm not an emotional guy. I remember Michael Landon, the Little House on the Prairie guy. I read that before an emotional scene, he would pluck nose hairs. Desperate situation calls for desperate measures, so I start plucking nose hairs. No tears. So if you can imagine, I hear the garage door creak open, and my wife comes in, and just picture this. A man holding this deranged-looking porcelain doll, standing behind a pile of nose hair. And the first thing she asked me was, were you watching Monday Night Football? Now, at that moment, I could have said, But I'm a man of integrity. I admitted to watching Monday Night Football. Anyway, I'm still alive. And for the record, Colby's still alive. He never did confess to the crime, but, you know, with white all over his hands, how can you deny it? And to kind of break it down for you, before you take this oath. It goes like this. I state your name. And the reason why I like to go through this, because inevitably there'll be a few that say, state your name. I mean your birth name. Not your neighbors, not your mom, not your dad's, unless you're junior. As a law enforcement officer, I'll be fully aware of the ethical responsibilities of my office. Ethics. This word will come up time and time again, as it should. But unfortunately, officers do not, I shouldn't say officers, some officers, less than 1% in the state of Utah, don't take this seriously. They allow their very moral being, the fibers that make us do what we do as police officers, to deteriorate. And inevitably come before post counsel, my desk. Just 2 weeks ago, we took action on 15 officers. And I can tell you the violations, but you wouldn't believe me. Law enforcement is not immune to the ills of society. We bleed just like everybody else. We can get addicted just like everybody else. We are human. So always keep in mind the ethical responsibility. I will strive constantly, not when I'm on duty, but constantly strive to live up to the highest possible standards. I was at the doctor the other day, Dr. Kruger, weird, a lung doctor. We're talking about the discipline that he read about in the newspaper. He says, I can't believe that he'll take some of his license for some of this conduct. He said it takes almost an act of God to remove a physician's license. And you think about the awesome responsibility they have, and yet it is so difficult to remove their license. But as an officer, it's actually very easy. And it's because society expects that kind of scrutiny, that kind of balance in his profession. Keeping in mind the expectations of my fellow officers, of my agency, and of the citizens that I serve. And that's the most important line, I believe, in this code. As you stand before this audience, those are the people that you're going to be serving. Do not lose sight of that. I've seen so many officers, they get caught up, they get complacent. It's just the job, and a traffic stop is just another traffic stop. An accident is just another accident. Domestic violence is just another domestic violence. But to those people involved that are victims, it is a big deal. You need to find ways to make them feel that that is the most important case on your plate. I recognize my badge as a symbol of public trust, to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of the police service. You know, I think about the badge and what it represents. But ultimately, the name that's on the other side of your uniform. That's what you need to stay true to. Say right now, you're not going to embarrass your family. For me, there's nothing worse than to let down my family. I hereby vow before these witnesses to live by the law enforcement code of ethics. Pretty easy to repeat. Sometimes challenging to live. So with that, if you please stand and turn and face the audience. And I'm going to say I, and then each one of you are going to state your name. Raise your right arm to a square and repeat after me. I,
Rick Anderson, Adam Anderson, Dustin Atwood, Patrick William Black, Walter Bockel, Jason Brown, Tyler Christensen, Sarah Kovala, Carter Dennis,
Desiree Ellers.
Michael Erickson,
Brandon Francis.
Stephen Garrett, Jeremy Godfrey, Jason Golightly. Thomas Gonzalez.
Kaylee McCluskey.
Brian Higgins. Steven Jennings.
Christina Kerr.
Bronson Kitchen.
Andy Medina. Kenneth Miller.
Dustin Olzak.
Ryan Pepper.
Justin Powell.
Scott Richardson.
James Rodriguez.
Nicole Rowland.
Timothy Slack.
Aaron Stankovitz.
Chase Swenson.
Chad Toole. Pablo Torres. Austin Westmoreland.
As a law enforcement officer,
As a law enforcement officer,
I will be fully aware
I will be fully aware
of the ethical responsibilities of my office.
of the ethical responsibilities of my office.
I will strive constantly
I will strive constantly
to live up to the highest possible standards,
to live up to the highest possible standards,
keeping in mind the expectations
keeping in mind the expectations
of my fellow officers,
of my fellow officers,
of my agency,
of my agency,
and of the citizens that I serve.
and the citizens that I serve.
I recognize my badge as a symbol of public trust,
I recognize my badge as a symbol of public trust,
to be held so long
to be held so long
as I am true to the ethics of police service.
as I am true to the ethics of police service.
I hereby vow before these witnesses
I hereby vow before these witnesses
to live by the law enforcement code of ethics.
to live by the law enforcement code of ethics.
Congratulations. You can be seated. Before I proceed any further, I need to introduce three very important people, and they conveniently sat together up here. I'd like to have Laura Rice stand, Rachel Gallagher, Larry Boggs. They are our staff that make everything happen. Laura and Rachel just take care of all the paperwork, all filling out applications, going to get your physicals, coming in to have your interviews, do all those things that you had to do. You survived that process. Not everyone did. Some were rejected because of poor health, prior criminal records. Sometimes it was prior drug use that kept them out. Some for medical, some physical and medical problems. But you made it through. We began class on May 9th. That first night of class, you were quiet, reserved, a little timid. That is, everyone except Cadet Golightly. I doubt if I'll ever think of Cadet Golightly as quiet, reserved, and timid. Now, Cadet, I picked on you, but it's because I really do care for you. You're a good person, and you kept things lively many times. In the last 8 months, you've learned much, you've done much, you've accomplished an awful lot. You pushed yourself physically. We spent some time in the office this afternoon looking at pictures we took of you last May. I was surprised at how much weight some of you have lost in the last 8 months. The fact in the past 8 months we had approximately 60 one-hour physical training sessions, I think has had a positive impact on you. We also noticed that during the SFO block, you have five other classmates who were not allowed, who didn't earn the right to move on to law enforcement officer. One because of a physical ailment, and he will be joining the class that starts in January. The four because they couldn't meet the physical training requirements. You have been pushed mentally. Stop thinking all the things you've done. 70 to 80 hours of legal training, special training in CPR, first aid, standardized field sobriety testing, and oxidizer certification, radar, 68 hours of defensive tactics, 50 hours of firearms training, accident investigation, domestic violence, 60 hours of scenario and practical training, and that and so much more you went through. Done a lot. What I will always remember about class 067, good attitudes. I never had to worry about you guys not being able to come and be ready to work. You were fun to be with. Some of that I contribute to Go Lightly.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Many times we'll have a session that after 8 months, we're just tired of each other. And if that's happened with you, I haven't felt it. It's been fun to have you. We had a great class cheer, which we'll have an opportunity to hear again one more time tonight. I think I will, and everybody in our group will always remember Carter Dennis. Because Dennis had this unique ability, I don't know if it's his military background or not, when we were doing physical training and we would do repetitions, 1, 2, 3, and we would yell out 1. His 2, whatever it was, could be heard through the entire building. Sometimes your ears hurt. But did a great job, and you'll become a legend with us. You have become a legend with the staff. I think you will take many things with you from your experience here. Just pause for a moment and see what comes to mind when I mention the following things. Standard plumbing, round block, long block, boardwalk, ladders, flagpole, stairs, down to the river. Let's get to work. Find a friend, on the line, Taipan, Crown Burger, Sid, Rich, Rochelle, what have you got for us? Locating satellites, and of course, lighting your stamps. Okay, this is the last time you're going to have to listen to me give you any advice. I used to have a great friend that worked with us at Peace Officers. He was a legend. His name was Tom Stanky. He did all of our physical training for many years. And he liked to drive classic old cars. And he told me one day, the reason why I like to drive old cars is because they play old music. And I'm a lot older than you guys, so I do like some old music. And one of the songs that I frequently think of is an old song back in the late 60s, early 70s by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young called Southern Cross. And it's about some guys just cruising around the South Pacific, not doing anything of any value, other than maybe having a good time. One phrase I remember out of that song is, "We never fail to fail. It was the easiest thing to do." One thing I can say about you guys is you didn't fail. You worked hard. You worked through exhaustion, work, family responsibilities. It's not easy doing what you did. And I guess I should say not just what you did, but what you and your families did. Because this is a collaborative effort, as you all know. And without their support, this wouldn't have happened. If I could give you some advice, it would be to continue in that same mode. Don't ever take the shortcut. Don't ever take the easy way out. Be positive. You've already been told that tonight. Be positive, and I'll just reiterate that. In every department, every organization you ever go to, there will be those who will be positive, and there will be those who want to tear the organization down with their little undercurrent. Stay away from those kind of people, and find those people who are positive, who want to for the organization, who are positive what to do. Be teachable, be accountable, be supportive of those around you. Be persistent and don't give up, especially in the next couple of years. Our statistics show that if you will keep at it, around 70 to 75% of our graduates, sometimes it takes a year and a half, 2 years, will find employment. And we're working on it. And we know some of you have waited a long time, so if you need to get in the best position possible to get the Kodak moment and get the picture you need, please don't feel free to move around. Rick Anderson.
Stop that.
Adam Anderson. Dustin Atwood. Patrick Black. Detective Snyder is with West Valley City Police Department, and he's a close friend of our next graduate, Thomas Gonzalez. We have Ed Seffens come forward. Mr. Seffens worked for Los Angeles City as an officer doing drug enforcement administration, and also CID in the U.S. Army. And he is the grandfather of our next graduate, Kaleys Graduation. Ryan Higgins. Stephen Jennings. Christina Jones Kerr. Bronson Kitchen. Andy Mahina. Let's give them all another round. We will now have a few awards presented. I'd like to have Robbie Robertson come forward and present the Firearms Awards. Robbie's been, I always get this wrong, but it's probably close to 50 years, 45 years, 43 years been doing this, and has trained many police officers in the state of Utah. Robbie Robertson.
You know, when we start this program, I get to start with them first week in the second block. And first night, usually I set some goals that we want to make. The first goal we set is that everybody leaves with the same amount of holes in their body as they started. And obviously tonight we made that goal. Huh? The second goal is that everybody would develop the skills necessary to qualify on the 3 qualification courses that are necessary. And we made that goal. And I'm just grateful that we did that. Some had to work harder than others, but we're willing to do that. The last one is that they have the skills necessary to win their gunfight if it happens to them first week out on the road. And I feel pretty confident that we've given you those skills. If your mind's in the right place, when it happens, you'll be okay. Remember the color codes, okay? Always important that we're mentally prepared to do what we need to do. The captain talked about You'll hardly be in any place that you won't know somebody, see somebody in your police department, or be somebody that's been involved in a shooting. And you know, as important it is that you're able to go home at night. It's also important because you are one of the biggest liabilities that your city takes on. What you do out there with your handgun or long gun is really a big liability for the city. If you do it right, everything's good. If you do it wrong and somebody gets hurt that shouldn't be, and the city is going to cost them lots and lots of money. So it's important that you maintain the skills. They're perishable. If you don't keep up with them, you'll lose them. And so, for your benefit and the benefit of your community and those who will be around you, should you get into a shoot, it's important that you maintain your skills. We talked about skills. We give some awards here. We talked about those first night, and then they work towards them. I'd like to start tonight with the Most Improved Shooter Award. This is an award we give to the person who has developed the best skills, not only in shooting scores, but mental skills, all the skills that go along with this. And this is the first time that I've ever had every instructor tell me that this person should get this award. So unanimously by all the instructors, Desiree Ehlers. You know, one of the things that everybody remarked about with this young lady is that anytime you went to her with a suggestion on something that needed to be done, something that would improve it, you walked away and looked back and she was incorporating those things immediately. And it showed in everything that she did. So we're really proud to present this to Desiree. The next award that I'd get over here where people can hear me now. The next award that I'd like to give, the other two shooting awards, one of them is the Fastest Gun Award. And Chief, you may agree with this. If some of the chiefs came out and saw us doing this particular thing, they'd just say, "Oh, you're just having fun." What we do is pair them up, and they shoot against each other, breaking balloons and knocking targets down. And they have 3 targets to knock down, and the first one that gets all 3 targets knocked down wins. And we run that like a tournament, and they continue on through. And even though it's a lot of fun, it's one of those ways that we build stress. And let me tell you, they're shooting stress. And so we try to do as many things as we can, and the guys that do the scenarios build in a lot of good stress. And it helps the officers be prepared when the real stress comes. So the award here, if Mr. Nolzak would please come up. Now, Dustin won this thing, but I'll tell you what, it was by a split second that he won this. I wouldn't have bet on either one of them, so we're proud of Dustin. Another award we give is the High Shooter Award. High Shooter Award is given to the person who gets the highest score based on all the qualification shoots. We added up, there's 1,000 points. Dustin managed to drop 5 points out of that 1,000. That's really a high percentage. Very seldom. That means he didn't miss a target one time. He missed the top scoring ring 5 times. Outstanding shooter. Congratulations to High Shooter Award.
Well, good evening, and thank you, Director Atlick and friends, law enforcement family. So you guys made it now. You have your certificates. How do you feel? Woo! Good? Come on. How do you feel? Very good. Sounds like I need to borrow a couple of you for a graveyard shift with me tonight. Who's in? Oh, and there's a young man over there. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Couple of years, my friend. Couple of years, and Robbie will still be your firearms instructor. We love you, Robbie. Yes. I'll stop when I get my hair back. On behalf of the Utah Peace Officers Association, the Utah Law Enforcement Memorial, we welcome you to the field of law enforcement, your chosen profession, a noble profession, and just grateful for the opportunity to present this award to a cadet who is graduating with outstanding academic performance. Academia in law enforcement, of course, is integral and makes you well-rounded in the field that we love. And so our invitation to you is to give back to your career. A career that will give you so much satisfaction and pride in what you do every day. I don't have a 2.5-year-old that was covered in Desitin, but just to, and I won't even go there, but I will say the other night as I was getting dressed for work, throwing my gear on, and you'll understand what this is like, you know, after several years of doing that, you just, maybe you're tired, you just want to stay at home, and my little boy says, Dad, why do you have to go to work tonight? I said, I have to go, buddy. Have a good night, okay? I wish I could stay home with you. And he said, well, guess you should have been a kid. But we are all kids at heart, and I think it's a thrill of the job and assignment of the profession that kind of keeps the child alive in us. Unfortunately, my child lost all of his hair and became very young, but it's okay. All right. So on behalf of the UPOA Law Enforcement Memorial, we'll be presenting a Salt Lake Community College Institute of Public Safety belt buckle, and I have another one coming from the UPOA and ULEN's Utah Law Enforcement Memorial Challenge Point. And so we'd like to present that to a gentleman who shares my same name, Aaron. Stay. It's okay. I just want to make sure it's right. Come on down, Aaron. We appreciate Corporal Rosie help. You can tell he's got another life as a radio disc jockey also. Past life, excuse me. He is on duty, so I appreciate it. Certainly for the Springs letting him come and help us out. Another award we get for directors list is our directors list award for academics. Just to let you know, Aaron Stakovich had an academic average of 97%, which is very, very high. We had 2 others that were 96%. And so we give the award to those who get 95% or higher. They're on the director's list. So I'd like to have Jason Brown and Scott Richardson come forward. Physical training is a big part of what we do. And we find that some of the students are challenged by it, and it just comes almost right down to the very end before they're able to meet the post-mandated standards. Others
it's just a little easier. So we find in order to keep them motivated, we have to come up with some awards that challenge them so that they'll keep pushing hard and hard and hard all through the whole program. We have a couple of awards that we give out. One is the 95th percentile club, and that means that they achieve, in order to receive this, they have to be in the 95th percentile of all 5 of the tests. And we have a number from this class that achieved this. Let me read these names, and then you guys can come forward and we'll give you your award. Dustin Atwood, Jason Brown, Michael Erickson, Jason Golightly, Ryan Higgins, Stephen Jennings, Timothy Slack, Chad Toole, and Juan Pablo Torres.
Go, Dusty!
We also have another physical training award, or superior fitness award, for those who set some standards, achieve some standards that are based upon very high standards that are based upon age and we have 4 who we have 5 after that. I'd like to have Jason Brown once again come forward, Ryan Higgins, Scott Richardson, and Timothy Slack. And you will also receive one of the belt members. Training supervisor award. And I'm almost going to give this to almost everybody in the class because every time I ask somebody to do something, they would step forward and do it. But I have 2 people that I kind of tasked with an onerous job of collecting reports after scenarios each week and making sure and how people making sure that those reports were turned in so we could turn them into me, so we could turn them into the attorney so they can review them. I appreciate these 2 very much. Brandon Francis and Christina Jones Carey. We're almost finished. We have one more very important thing to take care of. The class, about a week and a half ago, selected one student I have when I went into the class. I said I don't want any politicking, I don't want any nonverbal communication. I'm going to hand out a piece of paper and I want you to write one name, the name of the person who you think has earned the right and will do a good job of graduation representing your class. And many wonderful people were nominated, but my class, the person who was selected by the class was Walter Bachler.
My name is I appreciate the applaud at the beginning, since I usually don't get it at the end, so. I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. It means the world to all of us, it really does. I speak on behalf of my classmates in saying how fortunate we have been for your continued support. Behind each cadet seated here tonight is a network of encouragement and assistance. We realize many great sacrifices have been made by wives, husbands, significant others, children, families, and friends to make our graduation of this fine academy possible tonight. We express our most sincere gratitude for all the time and effort you have put in behind the scenes. We also express our sincere appreciation to all of the training staff and Police Academy instructors who have wholeheartedly trained us in the law, ethics, physical fitness, defensive tactics, firearms, crimes, accident investigation, and in scenarios. We appreciate your genuine concern for our safety on the job and for your diligence and patience with us as we have strived to learn the many skills required to be an effective law enforcement officer. You have been our role models and have given us a running start into this honorable profession. We have very high hopes to make you proud. About 7 months ago, we met together as a class for the first time. It was a room full of clammed up, nervous strangers. We didn't know what to expect here. We didn't know the person sitting on our left or our right. It was like getting in a crammed elevator. It was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. We are all such good friends now that it's hard to keep us from jabbering. We've been through a lot together. We're comfortable enough to joke around with each other. We've seen the rise and fall of a few mustaches. And we've seen the return of fewer mustaches. Our instructors have taught us that with every great mustache comes great responsibility. We have learned and laughed a lot together. Training has been very valuable, but so have the relationships and friendships we have developed with one another. We hope they last a lifetime. It's the people in our lives that make the real difference. We have supported and motivated one another on runs and in scenarios. We have put each other in painful wrist locks and takedowns. Through all of this, we have changed for the better together. We are not the same cadets we were 7 months ago. Some of you here may have noticed this change in us. We are more self-confident, more disciplined, respectful, professional, and courageous than we were before. We are better problem solvers and peacemakers than we were before. We are less ignorant of the evil that exists in the world and more prepared to serve and protect our communities. We do not pretend to know everything. We have only scratched the surface of the complex profession of law enforcement here, but we have been given a unique glimpse into the job. We are anxious to hit the streets and learn the lessons that only the real world can provide through experience. We have high hopes and strong determinations to make positive contributions to our communities. Thanks to all of you who have given us the vital tools we need to succeed. We hope to be able to support and encourage you in your dreams and aspirations as well. Again, thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very well done. And standing ovation. I wish you were going to use that line ever again. We very much appreciate your attendance tonight. A couple of things we still have to do. In just a second, I'm going to have my class come up here and do your class cheer one more time. Then we have our photographer up here. As you can tell, he's a very busy person this time of year because he also has a Santa Claus. Need to have your cooperation. We'll do the photograph right down here. And so we'll need the people in this section up here to kind of clear out a little bit. And so as soon as we're finished with that, then we would encourage all of the hugging and stuff that goes on with your graduate. Again, we appreciate your support. Class, we're going to miss you. We're proud of you and what you've done. I'd like to have session 067 stand and turn around, and we'd like to give you one more round of applause. We're gonna need you guys in this section to kind of go somewhere else for a minute.
Get in close. We used to sing the name neck to butt. Kaylee, look over here. Yeah, she's horrible.